Hello and welcome to another episode of me painting again. Oh yes, we're painting again. And we're going to get cracking. I'm going to paint the sea. I'm going to do a seascape. And I'm using ultramarine blue. Ultramarine blue. You can use a watercolour or gouache. I'm using an in-between type paint because it's one I made. And I didn't really put enough chalk in it to make it a strong wash, but never mind. Live and learn. So I'm putting in some burnt umber in there. I'm going to start looking at this. So we start filling in colour. So we want a quite a dull area there at the top. And then we've got our wave like that. So instead of doing a regular seascape, this is looking down. I was stood amongst some rocks and I was looking down at the wave and it was going like that. And then, that's a bit too big. And goes up like that. And then it's splashing there as well. It's splashing down here, there, and there. There's sort of a level there. It's kind of like there's a but there. This is my version of drawing. And then we've got the water. Let's do it really rough to start with. Do it rough. It's rough seas. Like that. And then this is coming. This is more. It's more of a. This is the darker side of the water. It's mostly quite dark over this side actually. Just get a little bit more water in my colour, just so it spreads a bit better. So we've got that area, and then we've got this area, and then we've got this sort of, it comes out splashing, and then down here, and then it's a real big sort of splash. We can move the splashes if we want it to be in a different position. That's the beauty of painting. We can do what we like. So we start building it up like that. Going into more the brown, because on this side there's a bit more of a hint of brown, I think, in the colour. So that comes out like that. Okay, so this is just the under colour, so we don't need to worry too much. And we start building it up as we go along. We go a bit darker in that background, a bit more of the browny colour on it. There we go. Leave that, and then like this there. Okay. Now, as that dries, I can start looking at going down a brush size. Go into this brush, the 1/2 inch. The first one was a 1 inch graduate brush flat wash. The second brush now is a 1/2 inch graduate brush flat wash. Just if you're wondering, I had a few questions on what brushes I'm using again, so here you go. There's the answer. So we can start putting a little bit of splashing going on here. Using quite a dull colour to start with, and then we're going to go into a bit more. That goes like that, and then this carries on here. And then it goes like that. And then we've got this wave underneath that one. So all I'm using is a bit of white in with the ultramarine blue and burnt umber. I'm going to throw a tiny bit of yellow ochre in. So it's white, ultramarine, burnt umber, and a tiny bit of yellow ochre. So this is then going like that. Just using the corner of the brush, and then that's really going. I can have that wave like that. Coming off the page almost. And then this has got like a like that. And you can see there's a wave breaking there as well, coming this way. And then behind there's a bit of energy going on. And here there's a wave breaking. So we've got waves coming from all directions, really. It's crashing up against things and going all over the place. So we can throw some blue and brown into our colour, blue and brown, and we can start looking at this shape, the way it's sort of going. Bring these blues. Got to think of the sea. Think like the sea. Getting some of those blues there, and then I want a bit more light in my colour. A bit more light in it, and we can start building that up here as well. It's actually pretty mad there. There's colours going all over the place there. And then over here we've got like these sort of soft, it looks kind of softer because this is all coming crashing. This is kind of softer over here, but there is like this loop. I need a bit more blue in my colour. So it's ultramarine blue. A bit more of it in my colour, just to blue it down a bit. And then we've got this there. That kind of gets pulled that way. That's going that way, and then this here. There's kind of a like that as well. That kind of goes round like that. Got all kinds of shapes. Just building my colour up again. Is there an area that's like that? Something like that, and then so that's going up. So you kind of have to do a bit of editing in your own mind when you're doing this, because you can't paint every mark that you see. Well, you could, but it'd take a long time. Heck of a long time. So you've got to kind of edit out what the important ones are. I mean, you've got to edit out the ones that aren't as important, to be honest. Get it right. The ones that are less important you can leave, and the ones that are important you can put in. You're trying to get that water effect, as long as your aim is for that, and we just slowly try to get as close as we can. I want a bit more of a browny colour for this area here. This sort of sort of foam, isn't it? It's a foam on the top of the sea here and there. Okay, that's quite good. Need a bit of that to go down here as well. And now I need a darker colour. So I'm just grabbing a bit of blue and brown. A bit more of the blue. Because some of these areas are still quite dark and we want to keep them dark the way they are. Yeah, getting these dark bits back in. look at your painting and check to see if you need to improve it. See if how dark it is. You can always check the colour. I want sort of a browny, greeny colour, so I'm going to get some yellow ochre and just throw it into my colour. So it's just a bit of yellow ochre in there. So I want this water, it starts to change colour a little bit as it gets ready to splash, because it gets thinner, I suppose, and lets more light in. And you can see that sort of almost greenish hue. hue. I'm actually using a grey, but it looks green. So if you look at it on there, it's actually still grey, but it's got a little bit of a yellow. It's a warm grey, but you put it on here, it tends to look green, which is good. It's the way colour works. Those slight changes in colour, they make a difference. Of course, yellow and blue does make a green. But yellow ochre and ultramarine blue and brown tends to make a warm grey. Okay. Areas I want a bit more brown in it. More yellow in it. Does actually get quite dark just behind the way that wave builds up. It does actually get quite dark actually. I've got this wave break in here, and that is a really dark colour as well under there. Getting a bit more white in my blue. Still should be, yeah, that's better. Still should be quite darker than what's there. And some of these strokes in. And behind here as well. We need a bit white in our blue. So although that's dark there, it's still got some like blue light hitting those waves. Using like a stroke, circular stroke in places. I've got some blue hitting there as well. Okay, I've got things really moving now. So we need to keep just looking at places that are a little bit too light. They need to get their darkness. Like here, that needs to be real dark. So using a bit of red and brown in it, we can capture that. Not too bad. And we wanted a little bit of dark here. And there and there. Something like that. Wherever you need a bit more shape. Shadow. I haven't got enough dark there. Let's break up some of those. Okay. Along here. Yeah, I think that's built that up nicely. So I think we're in a good position to start putting in some lighter colours. This is the Cotman 668. It's got kind of a rounded end. So it's almost like a filbert. That's the way I see it anyway, as a small filbert brush. That's the way I see it. So I'm going to need a dull white to build this up a bit more. Probably a grey, a yellowy grey. Just reactivating some of this gouache. That's the good thing about gouache and watercolour. You just reactivate it on your palette with water. It's good as that, isn't it? So we've got a browny light. So I'll do this big splash here, and I need to bring some of this light across here as well, because after there it starts getting there's a bit of light. Oh, and there's this as well. Oh, it's complex, this one is. So we've got this. Might use tapping strokes. Tapping and sort of just touching the brush, using that roundedness. So we've got that going. And then here, a bit more blue in my colour. This will all start disappearing a little bit as it dries, and then we go in a bit brighter. But that's alright. Then we've got this. This is all going. It's sort of going like that. And then it's breaking here as well. And then it sort of goes downwards, and you can see this going. And then this is sort of splashing there. And this is splashing here as well. And that's splashing along there. Yeah, so we've got quite a lot of splashing going on. All over the place. Okay, something like that. And then we're going to go lighter on top of that. So we're getting more of the white. And there's Naples. I noticed a little bit of a blob of Naples yellow there. So I'm going to throw some of that in there as well. So a bit of Naples yellow in with our white to warm it up. And then we can start splashing some of this. Splash in there and then all the way along like that. And this back here is going for it as well. Just using the brush on its side, and then as it's this water starting going forward. Sort of like racing forward, that water is there. Same with this. It's racing. And this is here. It's This is really going for it. Something like that, and then there's quite a lot of light in those bits. We can go lighter again. That needs to be a bit more like that there. While we've got this going, it's yeah, it crashes there and then it goes along there and there. Got a few light bits here as well running up. Running up that. It's quite blue in this area. There's a little bit of light hitting back here, but not very much. That's quite a blue area. I need a little bit more of that sort of line there. So I'll grab some more white and blue. So I want some more, there's sort of a line, go like that. Like that, and then along here as well there's a lot of movement. Down here, it's not. I've got that pretty good actually down there. Maybe there's a few more lighter bits here, sort of go across that way. A few more darker spots I find on this side. Especially that bit there. Some ultramarine blue in that. Okay. Okay, right now, a bit more dark there as well. A few of these shapes, well, that's rolling over there. Okay. Just trying to give that a bit more something there. Right. Now I want it to be a bit whiter. And we'll pick out the lightest spots using some proper titanium white. This is the permanent white. It is actually permanent white. Straight out the tube onto the brush. Straight out the tube onto the brush because it's really bright. And you can really pick out the light spots. And see all that water pouring over. Okay. Just want that line there. You can actually see foam patterns and things in this but it's all pulled. Something like that. And I'll just need to bring this together a little bit. So splashing and there's a little bit of a more light over there. There's a bit of a light here as well. Yeah, something like that. There it goes. There's the wave. It's coming over. Getting ready to crash. And it is crashing in places actually, so. Just going to get a little bit of blue. I just want to. In the shadow area underneath this. Okay. Now I want to have a bit of a colour change that goes there. Okay. Okay, something like that. Got these waves all coming in different directions. Here there's a bit of a something like that. That goes like that. So there we go, we've got some waves going in all directions here, and hope you enjoyed watching this come together and got you inspired to do something of your own. And just adding a few more little bits here and there. Little changes. You can bring out all kinds of little details. We can have some little splashes as well. I might actually use the brush to increase the amount of splashes using the splashing technique. Picking up paint on your brush and then just flicking it. So I've got loads of little splashes going on there as well, which is good because you get water going everywhere. So yes, there we go. Stretching that out the way it needs to be. And we've got that pouring out as well. Okay, I think I'll call that one finished. You know, you can keep going with these. When does it end? When do you finish? Do I carry on down the page? No, I think I've captured the waves that was going on there. I think that's worked out quite good. Quite happy with that. Yeah, like I said, you can keep going forever. So I like the idea of a little bit dark there. Just that flowing along there. To break that up a little bit. Yeah. Like I said, you can keep going forever. You really can. So I'm going to call this one. I'm just going to add a little light there. A bit of darker there. there. Right, put my brush down. Put my brush down, otherwise you're never going to stop. He says as he just wants to go. Bit of a splash there as well. Okay, I'll call this one finished. Yep, I'll call this one finished. So here we have a bit of a wave going on, multiple waves all in different directions, and you do see this. It was very interesting to me to see it all splashing all over the place. And yeah, so thanks very much for watching this one. Like I said, I hope it's inspired you to paint your own waves. So I'll see you at another one. Cheers, bye.